Yeah, 25 years. It's wild. I'm 60 now. It's amazing. And it's also amazing that I went to school around here.
Robby Benson was once the kind of heartthrob people never expected to change. Soft voice, blue eyes, that boy next door face. Then came films, fame, screaming fans, and the unforgettable voice of the beast. But the life behind that image was far messier than most people knew. There were career turns, private fears, lasting love, family struggles, and a health battle he kept hidden because Hollywood had taught him what honesty could cost. Years passed. The famous face changed. The spotlight moved on. Yet Robby's story was nowhere near over. So what really happened after the teen idol years? Who stayed when things got dark? And why are fans looking twice now? Join us as we uncover the choices, secrets, setbacks, and surprising life Robby Benson built beyond the image everyone remembers. Before Hollywood turned him into a heartthrob, long before Robby Benson became the soft-spoken face on bedroom walls, he was Robin David Siegel, born on January 21, 1956, in Dallas, Texas. Show business was already close to home. His mother, Frida Ann Benson, was a singer, actor, and business promotions manager. His father, Jerry Siegel, was a writer. Robby later said some of his first memories were of his parents working around actors, musicians, and writers. His family was Jewish, and when he was 5, they moved to New York City, the place that would shape much of his early life. He was not pushed into one simple lane. Theater, music, writing, and performance were all around him. At 5, he appeared with his mother in a Michigan summer stock production of The King and I. By 8, he had a manager. At 10, he changed his professional name and began using Benson, his mother's maiden name. That choice gave the public the name they would later know, but the boy behind it was already moving fast. He attended Lincoln Square Academy in Manhattan and graduated at only 14 as class valedictorian. Even before most teenagers had decided what they wanted to do, Robby was balancing school with a serious working life. He later explained that growing up in theater helped protect him from some of the traps that hit young television stars. In his view, theater demanded discipline. You had to show up, learn the work, respect the people around you, and understand that applause did not make you the center of the universe. In 1967, his film debut came with an uncredited part in Wait Until Dark as a boy tossing a ball. By 12, he was co-starring with Ed Begley Jr. on Broadway in Zelda. He also appeared in The Rothschilds in 1970. None of this looked like the usual childhood, and the pace was only beginning to rise because the young stage actor was about to become the kind of teenage face Hollywood could sell everywhere. Soon, cameras would move closer, magazines would take notice, and a private working childhood would turn into very public fame. When The Boy Next Door became a teen obsession, the next step came through television and young leading roles. Robby appeared on the daytime soap Search for Tomorrow from 1971 to 1972, then moved deeper into films built around youth, emotion, and growing up. Jory arrived in 1972. Jeremy followed in 1973, giving him another role that fit his quiet, sensitive screen image. That same year, he appeared in a Reese's Peanut Butter Cups commercial with Donnie Most, who would later become known for Happy Days. By then, Robby was no longer simply a child from the stage. He was becoming a familiar face, and Hollywood had noticed what made him stand out. He did not have the hard, loud style often linked with young male stars. His soft voice, dark hair, blue eyes, and shy presence made him feel reachable. Fans could imagine they knew him. During the 1970s, that look helped place him beside young names such as Leif Garrett, Christy McNichol, Sean Cassidy, and Brooke Shields in the teen idol world. Yet he kept choosing material with more weight than a pin-up image suggested. His ambition was also wider than acting. He was writing scripts while his fame was rising, and he later said that by 18 he had sold his 4th script to Warner Brothers. In 1975, he appeared in Death Be Not Proud and Lucky Lady. By then, the teen magazines loved him, and for a period it was hard to open those pages without seeing his face. So the public was falling for an image, while the young man behind it was quietly building another career. Then came a Hollywood possibility so huge that one different decision might have changed his path. Beyond the pretty face came some risky choices. In 1975, Robby screen tested for Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, but the role went to Mark Hamill. A year later, Ode to Billy Joe pushed his fame much higher. The troubled role fit his strength perfectly. Robby could look like the ideal boy next door while still making audiences feel the sadness underneath. In 1977, he starred in One-on-One, a sports drama he co-wrote with his father, Jerry Siegel, proving he wanted more than another handsome leading role. That same year, he appeared in The Death of Richie. Then came Ice Castles in 1978, one of the films most closely tied to his heartthrob years. Robby had never ice skated, so he learned for the role, including scenes involving ice hockey. But this period also brought one of the most uncomfortable choices of his career. In 1979's Walk Proud, he played Emilio, a member of an East Los Angeles Chicano gang. A contemporary review described him as appearing in dark face, while his appearance was changed for the role. The casting of a white actor as the Chicano lead has aged awkwardly and remains a troubling part of his film history. Still, his career kept moving. He appeared in Die Laughing in Tribute in 1980, then starred as Danny Saunders in The Chosen in 1981. The New York Times gave the film a mixed review, but praised the character's gentle curiosity and ability to win audience sympathy. Robby also appeared in Our Town, guest starred on One Day at a Time, and continued taking on varied film and television work. By then, one thing was clear. He was not depending on a single hit or image to survive. And while Robby fought to be seen as more than a teen idol, the most important relationship of his adult life was about to begin on Broadway. He was the teen idol, but she made him beg. Before Carla DeVito entered Robby's life, she had already built a busy career of her own. Born in Mokina, Illinois, she attended Willow Crest Grade School and Lincoln Way High School, then studied theater at Loyola University, Chicago. During her freshman year, she joined the Chicago cast of Godspell. In 1971 and 1972, she studied with Joe Forsberg at the Second City Company in Chicago and became part of the Second City Children's Theater Group with Bill Murray. By 1973, she was in Hair. Her professional path kept moving through music and theater. She joined the National Company of Godspell in 1972, later became lead singer of Orchestra Luna, and joined Jim Steinman's Neverland Workshop at the Kennedy Center in 1977. 2 months later, she went on tour with Meatloaf and Steinman for Bat Out of Hell. Viewers saw her performing in video clips for Paradise by the Dashboard Light and Bat Out of Hell, synced to Ellen Foley's original vocals. After the tour, Carla returned to theater, appearing in an off-Broadway Jubilee and a La Mama production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. She also sang on Steinman's solo album Bad for Good, including Dance in My Pants, and released her own debut album Is This a Cool World or What? In 1981. By then, she had already worked across rock, theater, and recording, so she was hardly waiting for a famous actor to give her a career. Then she took over the role of Mabel in The Pirates of Penzance on Broadway. Robby played Frederick, and Kevin Kline was the Pirate King. Robby later said he fell in love with Carla immediately. The feeling did not turn into a wedding overnight. One account said she was not interested in romance at first until a mutual friend helped bring them together. Robby remembered it more simply and more dramatically. He said he begged her to marry him for a year. The young heartthrob had spent years being chased by fans. Now he was the one doing the chasing, and this time the result would shape nearly everything about his adult life for many decades to come. The improbable couple who proved everyone wrong. Robby and Carla married on July 11, 1982, 1 year after their Broadway work brought them together. Later accounts called them an improbable couple, which made sense on the surface. He had been sold to the public as a gentle movie heartthrob. Carla came from a very different world and had already built a strong career of her own. Yet that contrast did not stop them from building a home together. Their first child, daughter Lyric, was born in 1983. For Robby, family life arrived while he was still carrying the weight of a very public past. Fans knew the face from films and magazines, but he had grown up in a working artistic family, not inside a star fantasy. His mother had performed. His father wrote. Now he and Carla were creating a household where music, acting, writing, and theater were normal parts of life. Robby also practiced transcendental meditation, part of a private life that looked different from screaming crowds. In 1983, Robby played Olympic 10,000-meter gold medalist Billy Mills in Running Brave. He took the physical work so seriously that training for the film became preparation for the 1983 New York City Marathon, which he finished in 3:05:15. Harry and Son followed too. The important change was not that Robby suddenly vanished, it was that adulthood was giving him more roles to carry at once. He was an actor and writer, but now also a husband and father. Years later, he would say his life had always been about being the best husband and father he could be. That focus helps explain why his marriage became so important when a hidden medical problem took over. From the outside, Robby still looked young, active, and healthy. Inside, he knew a heart defect had been following him since his teenage years. The warning signs were becoming harder to dismiss. The newly married man had a baby daughter, a career that depended on studios believing he could work, and a secret he had been told never to reveal. Soon, all three worlds would collide with force. The secret that nearly cost him everything. The danger had been there since Robby was a teenager. Doctors found a heart murmur caused by a bicuspid aortic valve defect. At first, he kept moving through work as if nothing had changed. By his late 20s, that became harder. He suffered dizziness and episodes of losing consciousness, yet Hollywood had taught him to fear what honesty might cost. Years later, Robby said some of his best acting happened during insurance medical checks. Left alone in the room, he would do push-ups and sit-ups before the doctor entered, hoping to look so fit that nobody listened too closely to his heart. The fear had been strengthened by older actors he respected. John Marley and Rod Steiger spoke privately with him about their own heart trouble. Robby remembered the warning clearly: never tell anyone, because a heart condition could mean career suicide in Hollywood. During The Chosen, Steiger's experience made that fear even more real. Robby said Steiger told him that after open-heart surgery, work disappeared. So Robby hid symptoms, blamed problems on fatigue or indigestion, and kept pushing. Early doctors had also given advice that did not uncover the real danger, including suggestions to reduce stress and candy. Robby's theater upbringing made stopping feel almost wrong. He had learned that you did 8 shows a week and did not miss rehearsal, much less a performance. But secrecy came with a price. In October 1984, at 28, he underwent his first open-heart surgery to repair the valve problem. He received a bovine valve transplant. Robby later remembered standing with Carla at UCLA and suddenly understanding that no one would yell, "Cut!" This was real, and whatever happened to him also happened emotionally to the people he loved. Carla became the one person who truly knew his fear. She helped search for doctors, watched his medicine, and pushed for better care. Robby later said it without softening the point: "I'm alive because of her." The first operation saved him, but it did not end the story. For now, Robby returned to work, unaware that the same heart battle would eventually come roaring back. The heartthrob vanished into a very different career. After the first surgery, Robby did not walk away from entertainment. Instead, his career began spreading into places where audiences did not always see his face. Music was one part of that change. He wrote "We Are Not Alone," performed by Carla DeVito for the 1985 film The Breakfast Club, and the work earned him an RIAA Gold Records Award. Carla kept building her own career as well. Her second album, Wake 'Em Up in Tokyo, arrived in 1986. She had also contributed background vocals for groups including Blue Oyster Cult and Sorrows, and opened shows for Hall & Oates and Rick Springfield. In 1989, she performed in South Carolina, then returned in 1990 for an evening of Andrew Lloyd Webber. That same year, Robby made his writer and directorial debut with Modern Love, and Carla co-starred and sang on 2 soundtrack songs. Their daughter Lyric also appeared in the film. Then came the role that changed how a new generation knew him. In 1991, Robby voiced the Beast in Disney's animated Beauty and the Beast opposite Paige O'Hara as Belle. The character's blue eyes were a nod to the actor behind the voice. Robby later said he identified with Beast more than any other character he had played. He saw humor, passion, frustration, and feeling that life could be unfair. He also connected the character's love story to his own, saying Beast learns from a strong, smart woman, just as he had. The success opened more voice work, including J.T. Marsh on Exo Squad and projects tied to P.J. Sparkles, Batman, the animated series Wild West COW, Lincoln, and The Legend of Prince Valiant. Their son, Zephyr, was born in 1992, adding a child to the family as Robby's work moved further behind the scenes. During the 1990s, he directed shows including Evening Shade, Family Album, Monty, Muddling Through, Good Advice, Exo Squad, Thunder Alley, Ellen, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Jessie, and Friends. Later, 8 Simple Rules would join that list. To fans, the teen idol seemed to be fading, but behind that quieter career, the heart problem he had survived was moving toward another crisis, when a life-saving operation went wrong. By 2000, the bovine valve from Robby's first operation had lasted 15 years and was failing. He faced a second open-heart surgery and underwent the Ross procedure. He was 44 and already knew how brutal recovery could be, but this time, a problem followed him home. For 6 years after that operation, he struggled to breathe. The experience became so confusing that a doctor to the stars sat him down during recovery and tried to discuss recreational drugs. Robby could not believe it. He later said, "You're talking to the wrong guy here." He had watched people throw their lives away with drugs and insisted that was not his problem. "I wasn't doing drugs, I was trying to breathe." The line captured how badly his condition was being missed. For years, the cause remained unclear, and Robby kept searching for answers. The breathing problem followed him through daily life, leaving him with a medical mystery that no amount of determination could simply push aside anymore. By then, Robby had also lost his taste for Hollywood. He understood why sick performers could make studios nervous. As he explained it, a director who died during a movie could be replaced, but if the star died, the production might have to stop or begin again. That fear helped explain why he had spent so long protecting his secret, yet the silence had nearly destroyed him. He ultimately left Los Angeles and moved to Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Looking back, he said the secrecy had nearly become literal suicide. The lesson was harsh. Protecting a career meant little if hiding the truth kept him from getting the help he truly needed. He also began facing his own mistakes. He had always been athletic and driven, and after surgery, he sometimes pushed too hard, too soon. Running and swimming felt like proof he was still himself, but his body needed rest. The old theater rule had been to keep going no matter what. Now, after 2 operations and years of symptoms, that rule was starting to look dangerous. But before life could settle, doctors still had to explain what had gone wrong. The pain. He finally refused to keep secret. While his breathing struggle continued, Robby began using his story publicly. In 2004, that pain became creative work. He wrote the book, lyrics, and music for an off-Broadway play called Open Heart and starred in it. He became an activist and fundraiser, while organ donation mattered because he had lost an uncle awaiting a transplant. Then, after 6 years of breathlessness, a 3rd surgery revealed the cause. The earlier procedure had left his aortic valve buckling and closing. Teaching became a major part of his life. Robby served as a professor at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, the University of Utah, the University of South Carolina, and Indiana University. At NYU, he was nominated for the Distinguished Teaching Award in 2006. He said teaching was not about showing talented students how to use a camera. He wanted them to try, risk failure, and work without hiding behind cynicism. He believed that if he asked students to be vulnerable, he owed them the same effort. Writing continued. His 2007 novel, Who Stole the Funny?, a novel of Hollywood, reached the Los Angeles Times bestseller list. In 2010, he also received a David Payne Carter Award nomination. Then came another fight for life. That year, Robby underwent a delicate 4th open-heart surgery at the Cleveland Clinic known as the reverse Ross procedure to correct damage to his heart. He spoke about cardiac depression and how recovery had to include the mind, not just the chest. He said doctors had become better at helping patients through healing and cardiac depression, giving survivors support as they rebuilt their lives. In 2012, he released I'm Not Dead Yet, a medical memoir whose title came from people telling him they had assumed he was dead. He said every moment was precious and that patients did not have to stay silent or feel alone. He also reached a calmer view of life, writing that even through heart surgeries, a quality of life was still possible. Robby had survived, taught, written, and spoken up. But soon, attention would turn toward a painful struggle unfolding inside his own close family, when his son turned addiction into a film. By 2015, Robby and Carla's son, Zephyr, was trying to turn a painful part of his youth into his first feature film. He said his famous name was not the reason. At 22, he wrote, directed, and starred in Straight Outta Tompkins, a story about a middle-class New York teenager who becomes involved with heroin and a Lower East Side drug dealer. Zephyr said he had lived through much of what inspired the film. He had used heroin, sold drugs, watched friends overdose, and lost friends to the epidemic. After getting himself through recovery, he wrote from a place of anger because he believed people were refusing to face the problem. He later said making the movie felt as though he had helped save himself. First, he had to convince his parents. Zephyr had entered New York University Film School, but during his freshman year, he wanted to leave and use money set aside for college to make the film. Robby was more open to the idea. Carla was less convinced. Zephyr approached them as producers, arguing for the project. He had grown up around the business, had sat through his father's senior thesis film class at NYU for 3 years, and believed the story needed to be told. He shot it in 17 days on New York streets with a budget of $150,000. By 2016, Carla was still creating, contributing vocals to Meat Loaf's Braver Than We Are. By then, Lyric was a singer and actress with work in Evening Shade. She later had 2 children, making Robby and Carla grandparents. Robby later called grandparenthood the greatest feeling a person could wish to experience. In 2019, after years of being far less visible on screen, he returned to acting in Hallmark's A Feeling of Home as rancher Wes Cooper. He said he had been turning down scripts because he enjoyed being a husband, father, and grandfather. But this story drew him back. The father-daughter relationship touched him because his life had long centered on family. After everything his household had faced, Robby was entering a new chapter on very different terms, from romantic heartthrob to Lumen's darkest halls. That 2019 return did not pull him back into constant visibility. By then, he was choosing work carefully while keeping family, teaching, and music at the center of his life. His marriage kept showing the same long thread that began on Broadway. Around their 39th anniversary, Robby wrote Carla a song called With All of My Heart, proof that 4 decades together had not ended his habit of turning feeling into music. Then, in 2025, a different role placed him before a television audience again. Nearly 50 years after Ice Castles helped make him a romantic star, Robby appeared as Dr. Mauer in the 2nd season of Severance. The character was creepy, cold, and tied to Gemma's disturbing treatment deep inside Lumen. Robby said the opportunity came because casting director Rachel Tenner had the idea to hire him. By then, he no longer had a team of people managing his career. After 6 decades in the business, he believed that anyone who truly needed him would find him. He taped an audition for Ben Stiller, got the role, and came away praising Stiller as a good man. The work itself kept changing. Robby said the script went through different versions and became deeper, more complicated, and, in his words, very, very cool. He saw Dr. Mauer as a scientist who was probably sadistic, yet he also believed the man had feelings for Gemma and may never have experienced love before. That made the role stranger. Mauer had a job that required putting her through terrible things while seeming emotionally drawn to her. Robby also praised the detail of the production, from costumes to makeup, and said he fell in love with working with Stiller and a crew that cared deeply about the job. It was a sharp turn from the gentle young man many viewers remembered. Yet that contrast was exactly what made the comeback land. For fans who remembered his romantic films, the change could hardly have been sharper. But the biggest surprise was waiting in the life he had built away from cameras, where Robby Benson really ended up. In 2025, Robby told people that he now lives in the Pacific Northwest with Carla. His time is spent making music with the woman who has shared his adult life for decades. Their son and his wife live with them and had recently welcomed a baby, so the house comes with grandparent time. Robby said he enjoyed being a grandfather for the 3rd time. That picture is different from the 1970s image fans still carry in their heads. Back then, dark hair, blue eyes, a soft voice, and a boy-next-door face made him a teenage pinup. Today, the face is older, the hair has changed, and nearly half a century separates the man viewers see from the young star they remember. That is why recent images can make longtime fans look twice. Yet Robby himself does not sound trapped by the old picture. He has said he loved his fans and remembers that period warmly. In 2019, he said he was at peace with his past and felt lucky. By 2025, that peace looked less like retirement and more like choosing carefully what still deserved his time and energy. Age had changed the image, but not his interest in the work. The quieter rhythm did not mean he had turned his back on storytelling. His response to the Severance finale showed how much he still cares about storytelling. He compared its impact to the unforgettable television memories he grew up with, including the face at the airplane window in The Twilight Zone. He believed the final scene worked because viewers cared about the characters, their love, and what happened to them. Did seeing Robby Benson today surprise you? Or is the bigger shock everything he survived behind that famous face? And which chapter of his life changed the way you see him most? The teen idol years, his marriage, the heart surgeries, or his unexpected comeback? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time.